Good afternoon. My name is Aldana Allen, and I serve as the pastor of Providence United Methodist Church. It's a wonderful church. I'm excited to have this opportunity. This is intended as a training video to learn how to use our auto call system, our auto dial system. We use a service called Dial My Calls. With that, we can call the entire church. We can call specific people. We can call specific groups and teams and committees. So this is intended as a training video to help those of you so you can learn how to use the system. So I'm going to share my screen and you can follow along with me. So the first thing you'll see is, well, if I can move this stuff out of my way here, you go to the website. It's dialmycalls.com. So you type that in, and then you'd have to come over and log in. The login is currently my email address. So that's revdana@hotmail.com. So it's currently my email address. And then there's a password. You'll be emailed the password. I'm not going to say this on the video since we're going to post this on YouTube, and who knows who might be able to see it, but you'll be emailed the password to get into the account. So you put in my email address and then the password, and then just simply sign in. All right. So once you're signed in, you're on the home page. Then you have the options for new broadcast, contacts, make a recording, reports, and other services. All right. So for now, you don't need to worry about reports or other services at all. You will need to understand something about new broadcasts as you make phone calls. You need to know the contacts, who you're actually contacting, and you need to know about how to make a recording. All right. So we're going to go down here. Now, if I wanted to, I could repeat a previous call, but since they all tend to be tailor-made, since I typically am talking about something specific like worship on July 18th, there's a very specific things that I've said in the call, so I don't typically repeat any of them. I create new ones each time. Okay, so I'm going to go to new broadcast. Once you go to new broadcast, this is the telephone side, or you can create a text message of broadcast. I don't do this very often, just on very rare occasions. Mostly I do the telephone broadcast. So you're going to want to click right here where it says use telephone broadcast, and then immediately another drop down set of screens came. So let me go back to service one, use broadcast. We use broadcast service. All right, now it gives us our features. You could have them push to where they can leave a message. That costs us a little bit more. We don't ever do that. We can give them the option to opt out. There's a button that they can press if they no longer want to receive the phone calls. We did that for a while. I haven't done it recently because I think we have our contact list pretty much pared down, but that could be an option that you could add to your call. You can take a poll. You can have them to press a button if they want to vote yes or no. That's a more advanced option. I don't use that very often, but we do have the ability to take a poll. You can have it to where they can push a button and call back somebody live. I don't ever do this one, but it is a possibility. It does cost us a bit more, so you can see that. Now, oftentimes we use the push to repeat feature. I give them a chance in case they got to the end of the call, that maybe they picked it up halfway or they missed something, and so they can just press another button that will allow them to hear the entire recording again. So I always add the push to repeat feature. So when you click here, you have to press another one that says add the push to repeat option to this broadcast. So we'll add that. All right, now it gives you another drop-down box where you can either play the call action, which I'll show you that in a moment, or you can record another message to play specifically how you want it to sound when it repeats. So basically you can have the primary recording that goes out, then you can have your own words also direct them how you want them if they want to repeat the message. I don't ever use that. I always just use the play the call action. This is the automated voice that comes on at the end of my message, letting them know that they have an option to repeat the message. So when you click there, you can choose a male or a female voice. Since I'm male, I typically pick the female voice. If there's a woman, if somebody else is doing the call, They may want to select the male voice. Just gives a little counterbalance, a little something different for people to hear as they're on the call. But I typically use the female voice, okay? One more time real quick. So far, we have selected our broadcast type of service. We're using the call service, not the texting service. We're selecting our advanced features. The only advanced feature I really focus on is the option to give them a chance to repeat. And then I come down, you press play the call action. Instead of the one where you record it, play the call action, and then let the female voice play, okay? All right, so we keep going. The next step. Now you have two options. You can use the traditional method, which is a single recording, or you can again have the option of two different recordings. One is if somebody picks up the phone live and what you want it to say, that might be a longer message. Or two, you could have a very short message if the Autodial system detects that it's going to an answer machine. So if it does not pick up a live caller on the other end, you could have it to where it plays a very short message. That means you have to record two different messages. I don't ever do that. Again, typically I choose just the traditional, select one recording, and it will play that recording whether or not it's a live person that answers the phone or if it goes to their voicemail. So select traditional method. All right, so here again, the options of the previous phone calls come up. I could select any of these if I want to repeat them. I could repeat worship on July 18th. I could repeat the Heritage Day message, so on and so forth. But again, these tend to be targeted messages. And so I don't want to repeat Heritage Day of 2021 if that's not going to be for, another year for Heritage Day anyway. And then there's typically something that I said in Heritage Day. We didn't do it last year because of COVID, but in 2019, I'm sure I said some things particular to that day that I didn't want to just go back and repeat. So again, very, very rarely do I ever select any of these repeat messages. So when you see all this pop up, just ignore it. You can just see the history, 49 different tabs worth of all the previous messages that have gone out. Okay. You come down here and you create a new message. So we click create a new message. Then you're going to see three options as to how to create a message. All right. The first one is to have it call your phone and you record a message on the phone. This is mostly what I do. You could upload a file. Let's say that you already have an audio voice file that you've done or made some other kind of way. You can upload that file. And then there's also the text to speech option. That means you type in what you wanted to say, and it will give one of the automated voices that goes out, but it'll be the words that you want it specifically to say. So you type in what you want to say, and the automated female voice or the automated male voice will be the voice that speaks. Okay. Mostly 9 times out of 10, I'm using the record my own personal message option. All right. So when you press this, you got to get the message name. So previously you've seen the names up there. So we're just going to call this one. Test one. Okay. Then you have to put a phone number in that you wanted to call. So I'm putting in my personal cell phone, 65414-8338. It's got it saved because I've done it so many times. So I'm going to have it call me. I'll pick up my phone and I'll try to put it on speaker. All right, hopefully you can hear my phone ringing. I'm going to answer the phone. All right, so this is the training video. This is the YouTube training video, a test. This is just a test so that we can see how to do the recording. We have come to the conclusion of the recording, and we'll continue with the training video. So I stop and I press pound.
If you wish to re-record your message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. You are satisfied with your message. Press the 4 now.
So I'll usually listen to it.
All right, so this is the training video. This is the YouTube training video test.
If you wish to re-record your message, press 1. If you are satisfied with your message, please hang up the phone now.
All right, so I'm happy with the message, so I just hang up. Don't have to press pound or anything else again. And then you see on the screen it says record message over. The message has been successfully recorded. So whenever you clear the little X mark away, now you will see the video up here available to use. So test 1 is available. Okay. So now you click on the video that you want, the outgoing message you want to send. So we click on that, and then we say next. Let me make sure we've got that identified. Next. Oh, wait, before I go to next, let me show you one other thing here. This tells you the length of how long the call will be. So this is a 20-second call. You can only do a maximum of 2 minutes. So you can see most of the time I try to keep it to 40 seconds, maybe a minute. It feels like there's more information I need to say. But for the most part, I try to keep it just at a minute, maybe a little under. Obviously, this was a training video, so it's just a real quick, short call. I think you have to do at least 15 seconds, though. If you don't do at least 15 seconds, it's not gonna count it as a call. So you got to say enough to make it last at least 15 seconds, and then after that, you can move forward. All right. So we select test 1. We go to next. Okay. So now we're on the contacts. You can pick people individually. By the way, it's alphabetical by last name. So if I wanted to only call Donna Agner, I could click right here and it would only call Donna Agner, right? I can pick people out it's still processing. Yeah, there it goes. I can pick people out individually, or I'll check her off the individual, or I can go to all my contacts. And if you click all my contacts, that calls everybody, okay? That used to be the way we could do it pretty easily, but we've got a couple of other subgroups in now, so I don't use that format as much. So what you'll need to do is you go from individuals to groups. You're going to go to group contact, and as you can see here, I've got it set where you can call like the SPPRC team, the folks that are on lead development, parsonage, so on and so forth. Those lists should be up to date. You may have to go in and check them under the contacts and make sure. In fact, let's just do one as a quick example. So if I click under the SPPRC team, it tells me the names. So I've got, and this is just how it's saved. I know Glenn isn't on the SPPRC team, but it's saved in our system as Glenn and Maggie. So you've got Glenn, you got Maggie, you got David, you got Tim, Jill, and then on the next page, Evelyn, Garrison, Betty, Wanda, and Jenna. And those are people that are on the SPRC team. Well, of course, along with my name. Okay. So you can go in and you can see the individuals, and again, hopefully all of these teams are inputted correctly. They're all up to date. But you want to go. We're inside the groups. You want to go down here and go to number 3, and you want to hit congregation 1 and congregation 2. I could go into a longer explanation about why we've split the congregation, but just for now, just know that you want to click congregation 1 and congregation 2. Don't call congregation 3 or 4 or this other 4, okay? So you want to click on 1, and you want to click on congregation 2, and that will call everybody in the church the way that we need to have them called. Okay. And by the way, I've also separated out visitors, so the visitors could receive a specific call. There was a specific invitation I wanted to give them, but then they're also included. I think more of them are included in congregation 2. So anyway, but those are the 2 things you want to click. Then you go to next. Okay. Then you make a decision. Do you want to send this message to your own phone also? If you've clicked one of the congregations, or if you've clicked both of the congregations 1 and 2, you're already included, right? Your information is included, so you don't need to have it send the message to your own phone. It's going to call you anyway. You want to go down here and select caller ID. This is the ID that will show up on their phone, and you can see where my home number has been used. We can see where we've used Sonia's church, Bellefonte Presbyterian. Maggie has been on the system, so we can see her name. Sonia has been on the system as she has made calls out to some of her church folks. But we did that during COVID when we were on the lockdown. We were doing the joint Zoom Bible studies. But just go down here to main number. This is Providence United Methodist Church's number. If you click that, people will see that the phone call is coming from the church number. This is what's going to show up on their caller ID. Another important thing that you'll need to make sure you click, you've got the option of use entry machine detection or do not use entry machine detection. The main difference is this: the system will detect if an answer machine comes on, and most people have some kind of outgoing message. They have their answer machine, their voicemail has some kind of outgoing message. If you click do not use detection, their outgoing message is going to play at the same time your incoming message is going to play. As soon as the auto dial call determines that a connection has been made, it's going to start the message. So if you use do not use answer machine detection, the messages may overlap each other, and so by the time it actually starts to record on their voicemail, they're only getting part of the message. So always click use answering machine detection. Right? This means that our auto dial call will wait until it finishes hearing the voicemail give its prompt. Hey, I'm sorry, we're not here, blah, blah, hate to miss your call, leave your message, beep. Then this message over here will start, okay? So always use answering machine detection. We're almost done. Send broadcast now or schedule broadcast to be later. Most of the time, I'm creating the broadcast and I'm ready for it to go right out, but occasionally you can also schedule one. Maybe I want to make it now and send it tomorrow. I'm here in the office, it's Sunday afternoon, I finished creating the message, but I don't want it to go out yet. So I can go down here and I can schedule, right? So I can decide what month, of course, July, today's the 18th, but I can change the date. Make sure if you change any of this, you're paying attention to the AM and PM. I've messed that up, I think maybe once. So people got calls at 7 a.m. that were supposed to be 7 p.m. So make sure you're paying attention to that. And of course, East Coast time. If you decide to schedule the broadcast later, most of the time when I'm doing it, I'm scheduling the broadcast to be sent right away. You go to next. You got one more time to confirm all of your settings. So this is confirm your broadcast, right? So we've got our 20-second, 19-second message. You can listen to it.
All right, so this is the training video. This is the YouTube training video, a test. This is just a test so that we can see how to do the recording.
Right, so you can hear it one more time. You can listen to it once again, okay? Come down here, you can see the broadcast type again is a call service. 2 groups were indicated, the 2 groups being Congregation 1 and Congregation 2, which ends up being 212 phone calls that it's going to make. That's 212 unique numbers. We have more people than that in the church, but again, sometimes it's calling like the couples. So it's going to call Glenn and Maggie on that one number. So it's going to call 212 unique numbers, but it's reaching more people than that. All right. So we've got the groups. You're looking at that. The rest of your broadcast settings, the main number, check. Answer machine detection, check. Plays the call option. It gives them a chance to repeat. And then broadcast time immediately. So if I press this button now, if I say send broadcast now, I'm not going to do it. But if I press send broadcast now, it's going to send that message I just recorded. All right, so everybody in the church would get a phone call saying, hey, this is a test for the system. So I'm not going to actually send it, but just so you know, that's what happens. You press send, it's going to fire up. There's no more backing out of it at that point. Okay, I hope that will help you as you are being asked to also assist with some of the phone calls, whether it's during my renewal time or any time. My ultimate goal would be to have all of the committee chairs or team leaders to identify people that are in their groups and to call them anytime there's going to be a meeting. Whenever there's going to be a trustee meeting, we put that information in the bulletin. Maybe it'd be nice if they also got a reminder of prompt phone call for people on the scholarship team. Their information is in the bulletin. Jackie tries to remind them and say, hey, there's a meeting coming up. But if they also got a prompt from the team leader saying, hey, don't forget, tomorrow night we're meeting at such and such's house and we're going to be there at 7 o'clock, et cetera, et cetera. So that's ultimately how I'd like for this tool to be used, is for multiple people to be trained and multiple voices to be heard, even including the announcements and the welcoming to church. I think that's great. I like doing it. So maybe it also helps break up the monotony if somebody else is enthusiastic and about inviting people to come to church. Come on, get out of bed tomorrow morning. I know it's Saturday evening. Maybe you're trying to do some other things, but don't miss church tomorrow. It's going to be dynamic. So anyway, this has been our training on the Dial My Call system. Again, when you get the email, you will also get the password that you will need to put in, and then you can go in and make the calls. Refer back to this video if you have any questions. God bless.